Morning. Well, as you can see, I've been practicing the figures, so I'll put that to one side. I've got this photograph here on Facebook. It's from subscriber and Facebook friend Caz Scott from Aviemore in Scotland. Thanks, Caz. It's she did say, well, this is the River Usk, or I think it is a river. It's either a tributary of the River Usk, or it's the main river in Angus in Scotland. So I'm going to have a go at that. I'm not going to copy it. I'm just going to do my own thing with it as usual. So Ron Ranson 2-inch hake. I know some of you are struggling to do skies with the hake, but it does take a lot of practice before you get used to the amount of water on the brush. But as far as from my experience anyway, the better quality the paper, the more difficult the wet and wet seems to be. This is Fabriano £130. It's much lighter than most of the paper, or it's lighter than the £140 Bockingford and so on. Bockingford is also very good paper for wet in wet, as far as I remember. That would be a £140 weight. But this is superb. It's cheap. It's about 30p a sheet, and I work on both sides. If I don't like one after a while, I go and turn it over and paint on the other side. I'm doing that on this one. And probably I'm painting on the back of paintings that you probably would like, but I sort of live with them and I get fed up. It's like when you see a painting of yours that you sold at a friend's house or something, or you go and see it, and you thought it was good at the time, and you look at it again and think, oh, I wish I could buy that back. It looks horrible. It's because you've moved on. The person who's got your painting hasn't. We're painting, learning how to paint and learning how to get better. So it's quite a dull day today, but it's dry. We haven't had any rain for a week since we had all the storm. So here we are. Cadmium yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, bit of hooker's green and burnt sienna. Kept overnight in the stay wet palette with a load of water and soaked tissue, kitchen tissue. Right, so we'll put a sky. Most of the picture is going to be covered up with trees and things, but we've got the River Usk, so we've got to be careful that we leave that. So a bit of burnt sienna, raw sienna over all of it. Look, there's not a lot of water on the brush, so just give it a bit of a coat. There's plenty of water on the paper itself now to make the paint run. We'll it's a bit of a grey sky, so we'll put a grey sky on. A bit of blue, look, this is where you get lost. Remember that what you put on dries a lot lighter. So look, so that's a good cloud colour. So let's just put it in, look, quick, and don't overwork it, and put it where the water is. And you can go just a little bit lighter on the top, darker on the top. There we are, so that's all we need for the sky. So I'm going to reclip it and give it a dry. And then we'll crack on with a bit of the foreground. But I don't want to dry it bone dry, I just want to dry the surface to get it nice and just so that the shine has disappeared. So mute your sound, go. The sky on this isn't a feature, it's just a backdrop, so we don't want to draw the attention away from the river. So I think I'll put in the river bank on the left hand side. Right, so there's quite a bit of green on that. So there we are, green mixed with the Payne's grey and the cadmium yellow. Bit of sienna in there. Okay. There's a bit of umber in there as well. Right, so there's a lot of these rocks showing through. Just getting an impression of this, and I might etch out a little bit. Okay, let's get some blue. Right, that's the one side. Right, I've just got a bit of that card. Look, just a bit of plastic card cut down to suitable size. So we'll just put a little bit of just create some high spots, catching the light on these main rocks. Smaller to go into the background. Just adds a little bit of something. Okay, let's put in the others, the bank now. A nice yellow, so a bit of blue, a bit of cad yellow, nice bright green coming down here. There's some shadow in this as well, so we'll just get the nice bright green in first. We've got this bank, a little bit of a darker green over the back here. Right, so a little bit of burnt umber in that, I think. Just putting the depth of the shadow in, modelling this bank a little bit. Right, I'll let that go for a moment. Let it dry off. We can scrape out a couple of little grassy bits. Right, let's do the other bank now. Just look, yeah, just some rocky stuff. Okay. Plenty of colour in that bit. This is all shadow. Not dark enough. And some good rich dark in here. Plenty of colour. Right, so nice greens going up there. Dark greens. Right, let's go in with some shadow on this other side. We'll put in some bluer background. Oops, that's my picture. So bluey green. Can only do an impression of this. It's just so much in it. So we turn them into pines. It's got a bit darker stuff in there. Put a few dark bits in there. Don't know too even. Just lift out some of that. The more dark you put in, the easier it is to get a lift out with the card. So let's just put some distant colour in there. Right, some greeny trees now on there. Bit of raw sienna and a bit of yellow. Now some dark shadowy stuff in there. Quite a bit of dark in this now. We're coming into the a bit of dry brush in here. Right, quick few thick outs. That'll probably disappear, but I'll go over it. Well, let's get away from that side for a moment. Just put in some dark background there, bit of negative painting here, negative space. Right, let's do a bit of detailing in here. Get this shadow back in. I'll just mix in blue and red, and I'll lift out a bit of this. The brush itself takes quite a bit of getting used to. You're not going to master it in a couple of half-hearted attempts. You've got to spend time with it, tame it, as one would say. A few sparse ones in there, bit of warmer colour in there. I'll make these pines. Just a massive trees. You've got to simplify these. See, I'll come away from that for a while. You've got to simplify these things. Let's just go back in with this. And I'll put in some greeny leaves and thicky stuff over this. Got quite a few in this little bit of a valley, well not valley but cleft in the bank. And we'll put in some of these come out across here. Oh, just put a little bit of a greeny in a bit of light. Right, well let's do a bit of detail in those rocks on the right. I should have etched out some of that. When I got the, well, I'll just go back in there, re-wet it. Right, there's all just a murk of stuff in there, a bit of green. Don't want it to go too muddy. Card, this is a stronger card. So all I'm going to do is just lift out some high spots on the rocks rather than paint them. So if your paint dries, you can always re-wet it as I've just done there. I'll do a bit more over there as well, I think, because I quite like what I'm doing here now. So. Right, I'll just go across here and do that again because I've lost quite a bit of that. I've just put in dark, rich paint on my brush, including a bit of Payne's grey to get the dark bits. So let's just re-wetting with a bit of dark here. Loads of this rocky strata. I feel I can suggest that it is. Okay, it kind of looks better there than it does on this side. Right, I'm going to put in more branches on here. It's just an absolute tangle. It looks more like an early spring picture. But there'll come a time when I'll overdo it. And now I want a little bit of shadow, nondescript shadow, just sort of coming out there. Okay, I'll let that go. I want to put in some little ripples. I'm going to let that go there. Right, some burnt sienna and some ultramarine, or some burnt umber. Look how delicate you can get these lovely twiggy branches, very sparse. Okay, well let's just put a couple of up here. We've lost those, they've sort of gone in. I'll just reinstate them. Too much water on the brush. Have your cloth handy just to remove. Right, what does that look like? Just put a bit of not a lot of cast shadow in this, I wouldn't have thought. But because the skies, there's no sunlight, so I'll put it in. But just a bit of detail to this grassy bank. Right, I'm going to let that go. That's about all I can do with that. Because once I start putting leaves on, it will change the season, and I think it is definitely an early spring painting. So we'll put that in a mount and put that one on it. So there you are, Caz. I hope you like it. Caz is a brilliant artist in her own right. Love what she does. And what I also like to see are some of you guys, the pictures that you're doing now, as you're making your way into doing your own original work. You know who you are. Right, okay, well let's just pull that down there and we'll bring the camera around and well, there we are. It's the River Usk in Angus from a photo supplied by Caz Scott. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.